Have you wanted to ask an intimacy coach several questions, but maybe never had the courage to or the opportunity to do that? Well, let's do this today. Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. This is a summer edition period of mine, so I'm going to start doing lighter videos. So today I thought of some questions that might be fun to ask. Maybe you never thought of them even. So the first one is, how do I know if I'm good enough for somebody, sexually speaking? With all the sexual revolution that is going on right now, I'm sure that most of us maybe have thought once or twice, for person X that I'm thinking of or I know of. I'm talking about people that you can actually meet in real person and you feel that there is a chance for you to connect intimately also. So for those people, maybe you have thought of, what if I'm not good enough for that person? Okay, that kind of anxiety and insecurity can come up for anybody out there. Yours truly also, like in my life, if there's somebody that I might be interested in, sometimes I'll also get this thought. Yes. So I think we're healthy when we start to ask ourselves, wow, but maybe I don't know everything out there. Maybe I'm not so overtly confident that I know and that for sure I'm going to be the right match for them. Okay? So some level of questioning ourselves is actually, in a way, a healthy sign. So what do you do then? Well, first of all, let me tell you one thing. Not one person on this planet is always perfect in intimacy. And everybody can have some, they can be insecure in a given moment. They can be intimidated. Their bodies might be a bit, giving some of these odder signs or oddest signs. I don't know. Maybe they don't get aroused. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of things can happen. I'm not going to get into too plastic things here. So in that situation, just if you can remind yourself that, this person in front of me is also a human being and they might have their insecurities and that's totally fine. And if for whatever reason you feel that you're too overwhelmed by somebody, I wouldn't necessarily recommend, until you interact with the person, I wouldn't recommend you to start telling them, wow, I'm kind of intimidated by it. Obviously, that is not a good way to begin anything. So I would say address it in a different way. Like address it by yourself, okay? Go somewhere in front of a mirror. God damn it, I am so intimidated by this person. I don't know what to do. I don't want to mess it up. Like some way humanly possible so you just deal with it. Shake it out somehow. And if it's not too bad, like if it's something chronic and you know that it always happens to you, I would definitely say go see somebody. Because it's totally workable. Don't torture yourself and don't miss out on God knows how many other opportunities. If this is something that also prevents you from interacting with people, go seek help. It is the best thing that you can do. And always remind yourself that, okay, even if this person, let's say they don't like you, they're still a human being also. Totally one way to ground yourself in the moment. So that's what I would say here. Okay, the second one, how crazy or extravagant should my sex life be? In a way, I would understand where this concern might come from, because a lot of accounts on Instagram, on TikTok, on all of these places with people that are trying to get everybody's attention, and they bring all of these flashy, flamboyant, and extravagant things, and maybe, just maybe, their intimate lives are not so great not so flashy. I would know a lot about that. Believe me, without getting into details. I would know a lot about just being a normal human being and actually not always being so flashy as we all look on Instagram. Okay, if there's one thing that I can assure you of, it is this one. So when you ask yourself, how flamboyant should my intimate life be? I would say don't stress about it. Talk to your partner. Check in with yourself. If you have no other resources at hand, like a third party, like a coach, a therapist, or somebody that you could talk to, and whatever stuff you bring in that session, it wouldn't leave the session. So unless you have, so if you don't have that, then just talk to your partner and ask them, hey, what do you dream of having? What do you dream of exploring? And what do you feel is achievable? Even if that question doesn't sound sexy, like you could rephrase it, like, how much of that can we actually do, like, right now? And let me assure you one other thing. Being straightforward doesn't mean you're a pleasure killer or a kill juice or a kill orgasm or whatever else. So it just means that you want to know and you're confident enough to simply ask the question that is anyway on your mind and maybe on your partner's mind. You know, no need to be so, like, don't try to complicate things that could be easy. I would pay more attention in or at or to how I say it and how I support it with my body language. Like, it is one thing to go like this and, you know, but how much of that can we actually do? Or say, okay, so how much of that can we actually do? Okay, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. Always, always, always. So don't be afraid to be straightforward. Maybe try to sweeten it or take the accusation out of it. Because if there's one thing that it is true, a lot of people in intimacy, when they hear that maybe something isn't being done enough, they might take it as a reproach. Whereas somebody doesn't necessarily intend it as a reproach, but because the topic is so sensitive, it comes out wrong, basically. So I would say pay attention to, before you think of how much extravagance to bring in, simply ask, but be mindful how you ask. Okay, the tone, the way in which you support it with your body language, essentially. I think that is a great detail to look at. Okay, next question. How long should sex last? Well, I would say here to not also fixate on one particular duration. And what I mean by this is sometimes our bodies are rested and, you know, it's after a good long sleep or after you ate something, not necessarily much, but it was just consistent enough to give you energy, and you can sustain, like you have a lot of energy and you want to use it in the best way possible, and you're going to spend much longer. Okay? But there are times, maybe you're at the end of a long, stressful day and you just want to burn out some steam, and maybe sex is one of those ways. If everybody's on board with that, there's no wrong way of doing sex. It's important that both people, or as many people as there are, to be on board with it and be okay with it and truly be aware of what's going on. So if you're the kind of person that also burns steam through sex, then 5 minutes and you're good. Doesn't have to take forever every time. So I would, when I'm looking at how long, I'm looking at, okay, how long in what circumstances, in what conditions? Because it's not just independent of everything. Absolutely not. Sex is highly conditioned upon attraction, energy, rest, inspiration, opportunity. Because, you know, you might want it, you might be ready, but you're just in a situation where you can't. So there's a lot of conditions that need to be met in order for sex to happen. And if you're all day in the house, that's also valid, okay? Maybe you're just not in the mood for it. Maybe you're just too accustomed to each other in the house that it's not exciting anymore. You're not an inspiration or a turn on for the other anymore. That can also happen. And in that situation, somebody, ideally not your partner, because you're going to hate the somebody that I'm mentioning here, somebody, one way or another, should boost you out, like kick you out of that state, like move you somehow. And usually it comes with a nudge Not always the kind of nudge that you would like. So that's why I'm saying, ideally and hopefully it's not your partner. Maybe it's you. Maybe you realize, hey, this is too static and I gotta change somehow, something. I gotta get out of the house. I gotta, I don't know, wear something different. I gotta do a workout and just change my whole mood. I gotta go dancing. I gotta go, I don't know what. Something, okay? Ideally, it would be you who moves you, like shifts you out of that place. And ideally, not your partner for you, because you're gonna hate them for it unless it's something that turns you on. Okay, some people are turned on by a lot of stuff. And unless they're also turned on, because maybe they will hate to do that. Okay, it's not always a turn on for other people to give us a nudge in a direction or another. Usually they give us a nudge because they kind of hate it where we are at. So they don't do it because they like it. They might do it because they don't like it. So it would also take you knowing them to figure out, okay, they're shifting here. They're pushing me to do something because they kind of hate where we are. And by extent, they kind of don't like me so much anymore. It's important to figure out. So yeah, that's that. How long should it last? Another question would be, how much skill should I actually have? And I would ask here, how much skill for what or for whom? Okay, for yourself, for your own self-confidence, for your peace of mind that the person you're with is not going to leave you, for your ego because you want to show off with the stuff that, for who should you have a lot of skill here? So that's the question here, actually. The answer is another question. And the reason I say this is because, let's say there are two people in a relationship and one has more skills than the other. More experience, or maybe spent more time learning, studying stuff, applying even on their own, okay? It's some stuff you can learn on your own. And it doesn't mean that it's boring. It means that it's like an athlete. You keep doing your workouts and your practices and your workouts and trainings. So you show for training if you want to get to the competition. Basically, it's like that with intimacy also. No matter what your practices are, okay? So then that's an entirely different discussion. But maybe somebody has more skill than the other person. Well, somebody who's truly skilled, first of all, they choose somebody to be intimate with, one night stand, longer term, because they actually assess that, you know, when they look at the person, you know, I'm actually drawn to this person. I actually do want, wow, I want to spend time with this person. I want them. They're hot. I don't care if they have a lot of experience or not. If I find them hot, I want them. Okay, so if somebody's really experienced, and let's say that you're worried that maybe you're not experienced enough for the other person, trust the other person's intuition, first of all, that they're with you because they genuinely want you. Secondly, if somebody's truly experienced and they also wanted you, because otherwise I wouldn't. If somebody's highly experienced and not so much into you, but you can feel it on their attitude that, okay, I'll give it a go, it doesn't lead to a good place. Okay, I think we can all recognize when somebody's not truly into us, turned on at least physically, or when they are. Okay, there are different looks that somebody gives you when they want you and when they don't want you. I'm talking about the connection, or they respond to your looks and your signals. They kind of respond. You can feel it on them. So trust them that they chose you for actually wanting you. Then also you can trust them if they're skilled enough. Well, skills and experience actually come with the capacity to make the best of what is possible and what is, you know, developing there. So don't be so worried that you're not skilled enough. I would say enjoy yourself and allow the other person, they're going to feel it on you. If you don't have enough experience or whatever, you're intimidated in the moment. Everybody can get intimidated at a certain moment. That's human. trust me that they will take lead, not necessarily, even if it's a woman and the guy is not so experienced, they will take the lead softly, abruptly, I don't know, depends on personal style here. But trust, allow the guidance to them. It's not such a drama. And you're still gonna enjoy yourselves because you want one another. So the foundation is there. And both of you accepted that because you actually were drawn to the other. So I wouldn't worry about how much experience or how much skill I should have. I would worry about, did I choose and did this person choose me because, you know, we had mutual attraction? And then if the answer is yes, be in the moment and it's gonna flow and you're gonna learn in time, especially if it's somebody with more skills and somebody who wants to stay with you for the longer duration. Okay? Don't worry about how much skill should I have. Okay? That's the worst way to go about it. Be sure that you're mindful when you're selecting, that it's mutual, that it's like you got the fire one for the other, and be in the moment. How do I let somebody know that I'm attracted to them without freaking them out? Well, firstly, if you're in that situation, and we're talking somebody that you can physically meet, somehow you know them in person. So if it's somebody that you know in your social circles, you interact with them, then I would say before just unloading the bomb on them, make sure, like, read them out a bit. Do they answer? Do they respond in your attraction or not? Because, you know, you might find them attractive, but do they also find you? Because when somebody's not into you, you're going to feel it somehow. Okay, if you give them enough time, you're going to feel it. You're going to figure it out. If they are into you, then this is how I do it. I actually muster up the courage, and sometimes it's also heavy for me to, like, hard for me to do that, or challenging. But I muster up the courage and I just let the person know. I don't like to go beat around the bush or whatever. Nah. It's simple and direct. It's not like a lot of people are intimidated by that, but man, I just let the person know in a very simple, delicate way, but also like beyond the shadow of a doubt, so that they don't misunderstand me. Because the worst thing is when you misunderstand one another and you miss out an opportunity, and then after a while, then you feel, wow, but maybe this person actually wanted something different and I didn't realize, and wow, I'm actually sorry. Who knows, maybe it would have been great. So if you read the person and you know that you felt that they respond to you in an attractive way, so they're attracted to you, not just polite, but attracted, muster up the courage and let them, ask them out. Maybe not necessarily tell them, you know, I want to sleep with you. Like, I wouldn't build a relationship there. You don't, I don't like dating coaches that give all of those techniques or tactics, how to approach somebody, how to let somebody know. It's like, no, man, come on. You know, I'm about to turn 40. Like, I kind of outgrew that kind of approach. It's like, why don't I just let the person know? Make it a joke or something. Like, it's not, it doesn't have to be rocket science, basically. Take my word for it. If you kind of read the person and you've interacted in a circle with them, maybe you had some one-on-one time with them, I don't know, at the mountainside or in a group, and you went outside and there was a fire or something, I don't know, an opportunity for you just to talk one-on-one with the person. You kind of sense, you know, where it's going, how the person sees you, because maybe they're neutral, like they would be okay with you as a person, but not attracted to you. Maybe they would think you're cute, but whatever, maybe they have somebody in their life also, like they might be attached. So, like, consider all of that when you start to tell or let somebody know that you're into them. So that's how I'd go about it. If you're attracted to somebody, I would try to interact with them on the foundation that, okay, we know one another. It's not just somebody random. But I'm also the kind of person that I kind of don't like dating. I think it's forced, and it for me, it kills my mood just because I have to show up for a date. And that's the purpose. No, I don't know, unless the guy would be, I don't even know who, like a super hot guy. And maybe maybe that would be an exception, but I would also have to wonder, okay, would I be a super hot woman to him? Because if not, I might have a problem there. So when it comes to, so that's what I would say when it comes to approaching somebody or letting them know. I'm going to cut it short. I was hoping to give you simple answers, but it turns out I can't talk short. I'm sorry. I'm a long talk. So I hope these questions were useful to you. I'm going to try to put some timestamps. Don't know if I can do that, but I'll try. And let me know what you think of them. Let me know if you have other questions, because we're doing summer vibe editions here. I'll see you next time. Bye.